Welcome to South Jersey Business with Joe Molineaux. Thank you for joining us as we share information, tips, and techniques that can make our business community and your business more successful. Thank you to Stockton University for the opportunity to produce this show focusing on business in South Jersey. On today's program, we are going to revisit some of our past featured guests on the show and shine the spotlight on exactly what they and their businesses are all about. So let's get right down to business with today's first revisit with one of our first guests on the show, Susan Schmidt, President of Stockton Communication Group. Susan, can you talk a little bit more about the business and what you do at Stockton Communications Group?
Sure. Well, Stockton is a full-service communications agency, a boutique agency, and we specialize in marketing, branding, public relations, social media, websites. So again, full service. We do it all from a full-service campaign to a project, a brochure, a website.
And you do it in a geographic region greater than the state of New Jersey, correct?
Yes, indeed. Well, we have two offices now. One in Somers Point, one in Haddonfield, but we service the whole East Coast.
Now, I don't want you to get into the secret sauce or anything, but how do you manage to run such a successful business now with two locations? You're one person.
Well, I don't do it myself. I have great people who are on my team who I definitely think the world of, and they're great communicators, and they're just as passionate about the business as I am. I think that's really important, and we try to get people that, when we're hiring them, that show that level of energy and enthusiasm, and that are dedicated to serving clients.
How do you maintain that level of service and commitment? That's always the tough part, right? How do you keep everybody with that exceptional service, customer service? How do you keep them all up and engaged?
Well, I think the clients really help with that, believe it or not, because we have awesome clients who are also upbeat and they get it. So when you have that combination, I mean, there's collaboration that goes on pretty much every day with a variety of our clients, and they tell us what their needs are, they tell us where they want to be, and we make it happen. So it's that constant communication and collaboration that definitely keeps the energy going.
Now, when you form your team, do you look for well-rounded individuals that can do a little bit of everything, or do you sometimes go on the try to find the people that are specific to a certain need that you have in the business and bring them on board to do a certain job?
All the above, but the number one thing that I look for is an awesome, upbeat attitude. I mean, if you don't, you can't teach that. I mean, you either have that or you don't. So a type A or a type AAA would be ideal, especially in the marketing field. So you're looking for people who are enthusiastic, energetic, who get the 24/7 nature of the business, and that are idea people that are going to keep coming up with ideas and just be really enthusiastic every day when they come into work.
It's a really exciting tone to set in your business. This might be a harder question to answer, but we're going to get to the why. Why do you do what you do?
I just couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. It's as simple as that. I love marketing. I love PR. I love social media. I mean, I literally love every single thing that I do. And I love it so much that I even teach it. So I just can't get enough of it. I never get sick of it. It's always changing every single day. So just keeping up with it is exciting. So I do it because I love what I do.
Most successful people that I talk to are not only teachers, but they're also students every day, and it sounds like you've struck a pretty good balance of those two things. How rewarding is that to be able to teach and also be the student?
Well, I really do. I'm very grateful for the position that I'm in, but it's funny, before I bought the business, I was heading in my career toward being a college professor, and then I had this opportunity to buy the agency, and now I'm doing both anyway. So it all worked out in the end. So I'm able to practice what I love all day in my business, and then teach it at night. So it's really the best of both worlds.
I was going to say that's a recipe for success. I want to thank you for being part of the Business Spotlight.
Great to be here, Joe. Thanks.
Thanks. That was Susan Schmidt, President of Stockton Communications Group. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. thanks again to Susan Adelizzi Schmidt, President of Suasion Communications Group. Let's keep business right on track and move along to our time with Certified Public Accountant Kelly Batts. What types of services do you offer your clients?
Well, Joe, as I said, I am a sole proprietor. You come to me, you get me. No, staff person or anything. It's me. I do individual tax returns. I do corporate tax returns. I do partnership tax returns. I'll look over organizational documents. I am there to consult you. I'm there to help you start your own business. You name it, I got it.
Who are the types of clients that you see? I know we mentioned some of them earlier in the show as far as types, but can you go back over those, the different types of categories you would work with as far as businesses and organizations?
Sure. As I said, most of my clients have been with me, since the beginning. I've grown a lot, but my clients are, as I said, individuals who maybe are just starting out. I have a lot of those clients, young entrepreneurs with different business ideas and different plans. I also have, as I've been here for 13 years, a lot of my client base has gotten older. So that they have retirement questions. They have, when should I get Social Security? Those kind of things have come up as the years have gone on.
That's interesting because I'm sure when you started out, you really didn't think about maturing as a business, your business and your practice, along with the businesses of the companies maturing, but that has happened and you've grown together.
I now have people calling me about, I'm out of here, I need a buyout plan, where it wasn't that way at first, right?
That's interesting. So how do you do what you do? I know there's some rules that you have to follow, but if you could sum up how you do what you do, how do you do it?
Oh, definitely, being a CPA, there are rules you have to follow. There's rules and regulations and code and ethics and all of that. But how do I do it? I do it. It gets done. I'm a doer. You need to, ask a busy person if you need things done.
That's a good way to look at it. So we covered a lot of it, but we have to get to the why. Why do you do it?
Why do I do it? I started this journey when I was in college. I was a journalism major. That was a little bit too gray for me. A friend suggested you need something more black and white. So here it is, accounting, and it's 30 years later, and it was a good choice for me. I think being a CPA has allowed me a ton of flexibility. I've worked for huge firms, small firms, and clients, and seen all kinds of things. And why do I do it? I actually enjoy it.
This is great.
I do.
Led me into this final
question.
question.
Numbers are a good thing.
Well, you've led me into this final question when you mentioned 30 years. You're a huge Dave Matthews Band fan, right? This is going to be a little off topic. So if you could pick one
You saw the sticker on my car.
I did see the sticker,
Yes.
and on your phone.
Yeah.
If I could ask you if you could pick one Dave song that sums up either the way you view life or work or whatever, what song would that be?
One Dave Matthews song that is the way I view life. Okay, that's a little bit different. Right now I'm very into I'm Alive. It's actually Kenny Chesney and Dave. I love that duet.
That's great. It's just taking it one day at a time, doing what you got to
is.
do to get it done.
And I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's about doing it, right?
It is.
That's perfect.
It is.
Well, thank you very much, Kelly. That was
No,
very
really, thank you for having me, Joe.
informative, and I'm glad you were part of the spotlight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was Certified Public Accountant Kelly Batts, the focus of the spotlight for today's show. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. Another solid business discussion with Kelly Batts, Certified Public Accountant. Next up is Alicia and Kevin Stauffer, co-owners and operators of Hooked on Breakfast in Ocean City, New Jersey. And now it's time for the spotlight, where we gain some extra illumination and turn the spotlight on Hooked on Breakfast, located in Ocean City, New Jersey, to learn about exactly what they offer to the community and the business region. Kevin, Alicia, thanks for allowing us to turn the spotlight on your business.
Thank you.
Sure. All right, so what is it that Hooked on Breakfast offers to the community?
Basically, we wanted to offer an affordable dining experience, something that's super high quality, as homemade as we possibly can, and affordable. It's a family destination, so we wanted to make sure that all families could afford coming here And we wanted to keep it as homemade as possible. A lot of our breads and French toasts and rolls, everything's homemade, but we had to keep it so that we can get the food out the window and to the customer as quickly as possible.
Yeah, well, you're really hitting those high marks. I mentioned, I'm a fan of the food and it's good stuff. So how do you pull that off? How are you able to do all that? How do you do that?
Well, I think part of it is our work ethic, and living in such close proximity to the business is certainly helpful for us to manage that time piece. But I think it's also, we set it up for speed. So breakfast and lunch is a speed kind of meal. You're not sitting for 3 or 4 courses. So, there's a lot of prep work that goes in to get the day ready so it can be fresh and ready to go. And then when we're here, it doesn't take long to cook it. Even though, things are homemade, it's pretty quick to get breakfast and lunch out the door quickly. So, and families in this area, they want to go on to the next thing. They want to go to the boardwalk. They want to go to the beach. They want to go on their boat. They want to go shop the avenue. They want to do other things. They want to get a great meal and they want to go on about the rest of their day. So it's that speed in a welcoming environment that really helps us.
Yeah, just a comment, all those things you mentioned, you can do within like walking distance of your location. So that's great. I love it. What a great location. So who makes up your customer base? You mentioned what they like to do, but who do you see coming into the business? What type of people come in?
I think we see a little bit of everything. We certainly see a lot of friends and people that we've known because we've lived in this area our whole lives. So we're seeing a lot of people that we know, but we're seeing a lot of people that are locals and live in the area, whether it be on the island or right offshore, that come all the time to see us. We see a lot of people that are on vacation or have summer homes. We see a lot of seniors that are retired, and that's their routine, is they go out to their favorite places to eat. And a lot of people with kids, they like our little Mickey Mouse pancakes and some of those little things that, it's just a pancake, but the kid, when you shape it like Mickey, they're super excited. So we see a little bit of everything.
Well, this might require a little bit more of a reflective answer, but why do you do what you do? The why of it?
I think it's just because we love doing it. I mean, we did it when we were younger. We got away from it for a while and we kind of just always missed it. And we talked about it for years about getting back to it and doing it. So we finally just pulled the trigger, and we don't regret it, not for a second.
It was kind of like, why not? If we're going to do it, now's the time. If, you wait another 10 years, you might not have the energy or want to do it anymore. So it's just been really fun for us.
I think it was definitely a right place, right time, right location that allowed you guys to do what you need to do. So final question for the spotlight. How much fun are you having doing this every day?
It is fun.
It is. Yeah, a lot. It's just really neat to see this whole process come together. Sometimes I'll say to him, like, can you believe we did this? Like, we took this building and did a major renovation and gutted it down and put an addition on. And then the pandemic hit and we managed to open. And we have this great staff who really worked so hard for us this summer as an opening season. I feel so fortunate that we were able to do this, and we are loving it. And we haven't had a day off yet in some capacity, one part of the day or another. Each of us have done something for the business, and I love it. And he loves it. And it's fun still. Very, very fun.
Kevin and Alicia, I want to thank you for allowing us to turn the spotlight on your business today.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
That was today's spotlight, providing a clear view of what Hooked on Breakfast is all about. We'll be right back. Thanks again to Alicia and Kevin Stauffer, co-owners and operators of Hooked on Breakfast. Let's dive right into live event production from our time with John Henderson, executive event producer from Good Time Tricycle. John, what are some of the events that you and the Good Time Tricycle team produce?
All right, we got an actual pile of them. We just pile them up and just have a good time. So we do the Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival. We do a variety of different style tattoo expos. We do the Cider Social. We do midget wrestling. It's not PC, but it's awesome. So, all lifestyle stuff. Our wheelhouse is very lifestyle oriented. We look at what people are into, what they're doing, and what drives them and gets them out of their house.
Well, I love that there's such a diversity in your offering. So this next question of who is your target market is going to change event by event. But do you begin with the event or do you begin with the audience when you're planning these events? Because you mentioned lifestyle.
A little bit of both. So what we do is we look at lifestyle trends, right? Hop on the internet, go to a different event. Look what kind of draws people in, where people's interests lie. And then we look at that program, we put a pin in it, we say, okay, that's awesome. That moves bodies. So who are those bodies now? And then we start to kind of seek out, well, who are these interest seekers? Who are into widgets? I never thought I'd use widgets in a conversation. So who are into these widgets? And then we kind of build it around there. And then how do we touch these widget lovers? And find that. And then we say, okay, well, we're doing an event around widgets. So let's create sub-profiles around those widgets that while people are looking at widgets, we can distract them so they can look at other things. And maybe, hey, that's another widget that they might be into. This is how this happened. We started our beer festival, right? Beer grew and grew and grew and grew, and we started to add ciders. And why did we add ciders? Because we wanted to see if there was an interest, almost like a gigantic focus group. And we saw people kind of going towards ciders. We knew that we could get away with doing a cider program, hence Cider Social was born. So we use our own concepts to tease and test people with other concepts.
It's great. You just did a great job of answering the how after the who and the what. So now we get to the why. What drives you? What inspires you? Year over year, you come up with new ideas. Talk about what inspires you, please.
What inspires me? I'm inspired by success, right? When a program works, I'm inspired. But on the flip side, when a program doesn't work, we did an event a bunch of years ago called the Average Joe Expo. Fell flat on my face. Just might as well have set a pile of money on fire, danced around it, hoped it rained. But I learned a lot from it. And one thing I did learn was, if you take your lumps, your wins feel that much better because you know what the down was like. So as bad as it hurt to get beat up, it was inspiring to go, okay, so I'm not invincible and don't do that again. And here's what you have to do to fix what you're doing. And it kind of propped me up. Like, I think I worked harder that next year after that on every other program we had. I attribute a lot of our kind of black eyes to the success of the program.
Well, I want to say you're not only a producer, you are a creator. And I want to thank you for the creativity because it results in thousands of people coming to South Jersey, and above that, the other areas that you also produce events in. So I want to thank you for not only that, but for sharing time with us in the Business Spotlight today.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
That was John Henderson, President and Executive Event Producer at Good Time Tricycle. We'll be right back with more South Jersey business. Another great discussion, courtesy of John Henderson, Executive Event Producer of Good Time Tricycle. And now let's move on to our time with Michael Bray, founder of Passion Vine's Wine and Spirit Company. What sort of products you offer to the customers you serve?
Sure. Wine, spirits, beer, artisanal cheeses, growler fills, which are 64-ounce containers of craft beer. We have 16 taps at our Summers Point location that rotate just the hottest craft beers throughout the country.
Yeah.
And a whole lot more.
Who makes up your customer base?
Who? Well, listen, it's locals within our community, Summers Point, Egg Harbor Township, but we also have become a destination store. So we pull from all of Atlantic and Cape May County. But the third store that I often reference is passionvines.com. So we have customers all over the country. We ship to every permissible state all year round.
When you called it the third store, that's awesome because I know you're spending a lot of time and energy on that internet to be able to reach those customers. Yes. And I think it's great, especially because we have a high seasonal influx within our region. And those folks can stay connected with you even when they go back to their original state or home state.
That's exactly right. And not to mention, it's a great tool to sell, but it's also a great tool to educate. And so on there, you'll see our entire list of products, but descriptions that follow. So it's a great tool not only for new hires as a way to learn, but for our customers to catch up on as well.
There's no question you're a fully engaged owner-operator. but I'm watching this industry change with the explosion of craft beers and craft distilleries and, of course, wineries all over. How do you personally stay current on all those options and what to bring into the store and what maybe not to bring into the store? But how do you stay current?
Sure. Yeah, like you said, there's literally dozens of new products entering the building every week.
Yeah.
And my quick answer would be our team, right? I mean, when you hire right and you hire, in our case, for a passion for the product to which we sell, naturally you're going to want to know what's out there. Yeah. Right? And so there's that. And then coupled with knowing which publications to look at, right? And then relying on particular salesmen and saleswomen to get you that information. But ultimately, I think it starts intrinsically with the individual, the buyer, and a passion for the product.
I also notice when people have requests, you do your very best to bring that into the store. I know personally, we've talked to you about a few products and
Absolutely.
You've sought them out. If they were available, you were able to bring them into the store. And that's much appreciated.
Thank you.
We talked about the what, the who, the how, and now we got to get to the why. We should start sometimes with the why, but why do you do what you do, and what inspires you? What motivates you to keep this going?
Absolutely, the power of why. For me, the why is everything. Why we do it is ultimately to connect our passion with the customer. We do it in a couple different ways. Like I said, it starts with our coworkers. Right? We truly believe that it's more than just a job. It's a place where you can learn, grow, and do repeatedly. And then in turn, you can make meaningful connections with people that shop with us. And in the same way that we are growing internally, right, as a team, we can then start that journey with our customers. And so whether it's literally just allowing that customer to learn one new fact about a Cabernet Sauvignon that they didn't know when they started, or whether it's coming to a master class, there's so many avenues. But what I know in the end is that when you're learning, you're growing, and when you're growing, you're at your best.
Wow, that's great. I really feel like you've nailed not only the spotlight, but you've also talked to me and clearly defined your passion. And I want to thank you for being part of the spotlight today, Michael.
Thank you, Joe. It's an honor.
Thank you. That was Michael Bray, founder of Passion Vines Wine and Spirit Company. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. Thanks again to Michael Bray, founder of Passion Vines Wine and Spirit Company. And remember, you can check out any of our past guests on this show by visiting YouTube at South Jersey Business with Joe Molineaux. And now, we are wrapping up today's show with our final guests, Ray Adams and Ron Leach, Chairman and Vice Chair of Ultra. Let's see how their idea began using nothing more than a pen and a few bar napkins. Welcome back. It's time to turn the spotlight on an organization that has turned their spotlight on unmanned aerial systems and vehicles, specifically in New Jersey and throughout the country. This is Ultra, the Urban Low Altitude Transport Association. Their goal is to promote the aviation and infrastructure interests of companies operating and supporting aeronautical vehicles with a focus on operational efficiency and safety. It's time for the spotlight on Ultra. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for allowing us to turn the spotlight on an organization like Ultra. Let's start with the what behind Ultra. What is Ultra and what does it do, Ray?
Sure, Joe. So Ultra is a nonprofit organization that advocates for the interests of the advanced air mobility industry. So the industry being the developers of vehicles, infrastructure, supporting services that enable this future of aviation.
So that's a really simple answer to a lot of work. So the next question would be the how of the spotlight. So Ron, can you tell us how you were able to set this up and how you were able to do this, operate this?
Sure. Funny you should ask. This is how we started. Off of exit 8A of the Jersey Turnpike, after a couple of phone calls, Ray and I met and we started drafting out an idea where Ultra was going to go. How are we going to build this thing out?
So just to be clear, those were two bar napkins, not one, two bar napkins that you basically wrote out the plan of how you were going to do this.
Sketched out the idea how we saw this vision to play out. We don't use napkins anymore. We use regular software. And,
I would hope, Yeah, that's great though. So that's the how, and it is a lot of I've watched you work, there's a lot of undertaking. So we did the what and the how, and now we have to do the who. So who is the audience? Who are you serving? Who are you working with to make Ultra successful and the industry more successful?
Well, sure. So our audience is effectively anyone who would benefit from being educated or informed about how this industry is evolving, the important benefits that it's bringing and will bring to aviation, to the communities, to the economic development of an area. And that could include government entities, it could include other businesses. It's really media. Anytime we can talk about the value that this industry is going to bring in the future and the economic benefits that come along with it, that's our audience.
You have to look in the mirror a little bit philosophically and think why you do what you do. So if you could quickly tell me, Ron, why you do this work.
It's basically a passion. Sharing information for people who want to get into the industry and being able to answer some questions and guide them through. And even the training aspect of it, teaching people how this industry will benefit, right? We're on the next phase of aviation, and it's just incredibly a part of that.
That's awesome. What about you, Ray? Why do you get up every day and do this work?
It's pretty similar to Ron. It really has become, it's become my life in general. I mean, I spent 32 plus years in aviation before this, and now this couple of years with Ultra has really let me build upon that. So I get out of bed every day to do something important. And I think this is really important for the next 100 years.
All right, who wants to take this one? What does the future hold for Ultra?
Sky's the limit.
That's a great answer. That might be one of my favorite answers all time on the Spotlight. All right, well, listen, I want to thank you both for allowing us to turn the spotlight on Ultra. Thank you for taking the time to share everything you're doing to move the industry and the organization forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. It's a pleasure.
That was today's Spotlight, providing a clear view of what Ultra, the Urban Low Altitude Transport Association, is all about. Well, that's the show. Thank you for joining us as we revisited many of our solid business discussions, seeing how they all shine in our business spotlight here at South Jersey Business. Once again, thank you to Stockton University and everyone that makes this program possible. Let's do it again next time. And until then, let's get growing, South Jersey. Thanks for watching.